These days, just about everything is going digital. Cars, cashiers, and even entire stores. Along the way, there's bound to be a few glitches, some funny, and others a bit more serious. RuneScape in its over 20-year history has seen a lot of glitches. With updates happening every week, there's bound to be some that slip in. But sometimes they don't get caught until months later. In today's video, the glitch I'm going to discuss netted the users trillions of RuneScape gold. When converted back to US dollars, it equated to almost $6.5 million. And that's only the amount Jagex was able to trace back. It was easily much more. Before that though, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. It's a free-to-play hero collection game available for both mobile devices and PC. Every hero belongs to one of 16 different factions. My favorite right now is definitely the Tolarians because, well, they're the good guys. And they have the High Elves.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
Anyway, memes aside, Raid has lots to do and unlock. Challenge yourself in tournaments, compete against the entire Raid community while fighting the Spider's Den, Ice Golem's Peak, the Almighty Fire Giant, or the Notorious Dragon in order to win awesome rewards and rare artifacts. And now in Raid Patch 1.15 coming in May, you will be able to compete in the brand new Arena tournament. If this sounds appealing to you, go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you're a new player, you will get 200,000 silver and 1 free champion, Grinning. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Good luck, and I'll see you in game. Let's go back in time to June of 2012. A new minigame called the Crucible had just been released. In order to play the minigame, you had to pay a fee with in-game gold. The fee was based on your combat level and what you were wearing at the time. So if you were the maximum combat level and didn't wear any gear, thus risking nothing, you'd have to pay a fairly high fee of 518k. Now, depending on what you did in the arena, you could get some or all of this fee returned to you. Assuming you entered the Crucible and left immediately, you would have your entire fee returned. It took almost no time for players to find a way to abuse the system. The big one being that when agreeing to pay the fee, you'd be asked to put in your bank pin. If you simply pressed that you didn't know it, instead of being told that you couldn't enter the Crucible, the game would think that you paid the fee when in reality you paid nothing. So you'd enter the Crucible, exit immediately, and the game would reward you with 518k, thinking it was simply returning the fee you should have paid earlier. This could be done about every 3 seconds, and resulted in players being able to duplicate millions of gold every minute. Now, this was patched fairly fast, but in the background another variant of the bug was happening. This is where I should introduce the Money Pouch, released December 6, 2011. The best way to describe it is more or less a new inventory slot that only holds coins. As long as your coins are in the Money Pouch, regardless of where you die, even in the wilderness, you will never lose the coins. Anyway, it was later discovered that whoever coded this thing kinda didn't do a very good job. Just scrolling through the trivia page about it on the RuneScape wiki, there's at least half a dozen bugs, and those are only the ones publicly known. Alright, so back to the Crucible. There was another glitch involving the Money Pouch. Due to how RuneScape is coded, each stack of items has a limit of around 2.1 billion. I'll put the exact number on the screen. So let's say you're at the Crucible trying to reclaim your 518k fee and your Money Pouch is full. Well, then the coins would go into your inventory instead. But what happens if your inventory is full too? In that case, the coins would drop to the ground. This in theory should be fine, but due to the Money Pouch's poor coding, it would drop double the GP it was supposed to. This is the same profit as the first variation of the glitch, which also got fixed pretty fast, and although very fast money, not nearly enough to pump out over 6 million US dollars. So how was it done? It's actually extremely simple. The Duel Arena is another RuneScape minigame where players were able to bet items and gold. The rewards would go to whoever won. So unlike the Crucible, the Duel Arena had code in place that made it so if your Money Pouch and inventory were full, you weren't able to accept the duel. So what did they do? They literally started the duel, unequipped an item they were wearing, and boom, their inventory is now full along with their Money Pouch. Just like that, when the duel ends, the money would drop to the floor and duplicate. Using this glitch, people were able to duplicate max cash stacks probably about twice every minute if they were fast enough. Until the recent interview with XJMod Mod Reach, there was a lot of confusion as to how long these bugs were around and how much damage they actually did. Jagex was originally told about these bugs through their tip-off email. They'd received a report that a player was consistently selling 200 billion gold every single day on an underground trading site, which would equate to about $100,000 every single day. Although Reach was told to look into it, there just wasn't much he could do. Jagex was known internally for having out-of-date or just non-functioning tools and programs. So anyway, the email is forgotten about, and a few weeks later the Crucible comes out. A few hours after, most of the Jagex staff is talking about a video that came out displaying the first Crucible glitch I talked about earlier. Reach had the job of tracking down the gold and removing it. At this time, BotWatch, which is Jagex's internal player tracking and bot detecting program, was being worked on. So Reach used the very basic functionality to find out where all the gold had gone. As he's scrolling through the logs, he starts to notice the Duel Arena came up a lot. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Jagex programs were known for being out of date, so he figured it was just the program identifying the Crucible as the Duel Arena. So he has ModAsh explain to him exactly what the bug was. They both get to thinking that the same bug that happened in the Crucible could be doable at the Duel Arena. Reach goes back into the logs and sees the same players doing what they were doing at the Crucible and Duel Arena before the Crucible had come out. Now, the bug had already been patched as it was money pouch based, so they, by a stroke of luck, still had one old test server they could use to see if the bug was actually possible at the Duel Arena.
And most people have gone home at this point, except Ash and Jack Mob at the time, James. Everybody's gone home, and it's just me at my desk trying to track all this gold. And I'm seeing Duel Arena, Duel Arena, Duel Arena, Duel Arena. And I'm thinking, this was a bug with the Crucible though, wasn't it? So I go over to Ash and say to Ash, what was the bug? And Ash broke down the bug for me and explained it. At this point, I don't really know how the bug was, what even the bug was. And Ash explains to me that actually this was a bug with the money pouch, not with the Crucible. So I remember saying to Ash, oh, would that work in the Duel Arena then? I remember Ash looking at me thinking, it might do, I think it would. It's like, well, can we test it? And Ash said, no, because the hotfix has gone live. We've done a cold fix as well. So all the local test servers have been updated with the fix. Jackmore just by chance said, oh, by the way, I have a rented world that's from 2 days ago, so it's not going to have the change on it. Can you just, Ash, go and test the Duel Arena for me with the reproduction steps to Ash? That's just explained. And I'm going to go back to the desk and just try and make sense of all this information. And I remember as I'm looking through it, it's like Duel Arena, Duel Arena, Duel Arena, Duel Arena, Duel Arena. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. And then James comes running over going, it worked. I was like, oh, we got a big problem.
Without that one test server that had been frozen before the update went live, they may have actually never been able to look into this bug. Now, when it worked, they realized they had a serious problem on their hands. Using the logs they had, Reach was able to track 13 trillion gold generated using this bug, and the logs weren't even complete. So the number could be, and is likely to be, so much higher. This bug had existed since the coin pouch came out, so that's potentially 8 months that it was being abused before it was found. To this day, it is easily the biggest duplication glitch in history, and made the underground price of gold get cut in half for months. Funnily enough, according to Reach, almost nothing actually happened to the in-game economy because it didn't go public. If that 13 trillion number had gone public at the time, the economy would have easily been in shambles. But nobody knew about it, so life went on as normal. Now, there have been a lot of duplication bugs in the past, and there's probably a lot that we actually don't even know about and never will. But Reach was working at Jagex for, I believe, about half a decade, and he says this is the biggest one that had ever happened.
So, do you base it as the most impactful RuneScape bug based on the quantity of the value of stuff? Is that correct?
Based on the total value, I think if you were to take the party at dupe and convert that into today's GP value, or at least 2015's GP value, maybe that eclipses it, maybe. But as far as I'm concerned, that is the largest dupe, or the most damaging dupe that has ever existed within RuneScape. Hands down. Hands down.
Anyway, that's an updated history of the most damaging bug in RuneScape's past. I know a couple other people have talked about this bug before, but it's all from years ago before this interview ever happened, and a lot of the information is just wrong or out of date. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Or, I'm also always active in my clan chat, and I'm doing bond giveaways every now and then, so feel free to join that as well. I will see you in the next one.